Siguro dito na lang ako kasi medyo masagot din. So, good morning everyone. I'm Mr. Nelson Bautista, the head for Regional Communications Division, NGCP under the Corporate Communications Department. So, this session is, or this program is one of the programs of our department of NGCP to give regular information to all local media partners and also to the information officers of local government on what NGCP is doing. This session aims to inform the public the projects of NGCP with the respective areas. In your case, we have the Ormoc-Babatngon 138 AV line, where we have our project owners here to present the project. But before that, since I'm seeing here new faces, I would like to give an introduction of what NGCP is. Kasi iba dyan, maybe hindi nyo pa rin kilala kung sa NGCP. We are on our 7th year of service in the energy industry, and I would like to introduce the role of NGCP as transmission utility of the country. Okay, Greg, please. So, from outline, we have NGCP and its role in the energy industry and understanding significant business of commonly used terms, wherein we are giving this to our local media partners so that we can have the same language when we are informing consumers or when we are informing the public. Then, to be followed by safety reminders and salient features of RA 7832 to be presented by our safety engineer here in the district or here in the Visayas region. Okay, please. So the origin of NGCP during pre-EPIRA or without the implementation of EPIRA, the Electricity Power Industry Reform Act, before it was implemented, the energy industry, the generation and transmission was being handled by the National Power Corporation or NPC, the generation and transmission function. For more than 30 years, we have NGCP or NPC as our operator in generation and transmission. Okay, next. But after EPIRA was implemented, transmission function transferred to Presscon. That was 2003, when the transmission function of the energy industry transferred to National Transmission Corporation. Both National Power Corporation, NPC, and National Transmission Corporation, or Transco, they are both government entities. Pag-aari po sila ng gobyerno. That was from 2003 to 2009. Then, 2007, NGCP wins bid for Transco concession. It says here, Transco concession, since we are only an operator of the government assets. We, as NGCP, is an operator only of these transmission facilities. We don't own the assets. The asset remains, or the assets remain government property. After our franchise period, after our concessionaire period, we will return all facilities, including the expansion, upgrading, and maintenance of these facilities will be transferred again to government because it is still a government property. Okay? Then January 15, back 2009, NGCP assumes transmission function. In our country, in Philippines, we have three major players in the energy industry. One is the generators, or they're responsible for generating power. We have the transmission, which is being held by or being conducted by NGCP right now, and the distribution utilities. In your case, we have Edna. Here we have Leyeco 2 and other electric cooperatives. You have 11 electric cooperatives here operating for the distribution function. Okay. So this is the business of electricity. That the electricity is made in power plant, whatever the sources are. We have the geothermal, we have wind power, we have diesel, we have fossil fuels. Now, medyo malakas ang bakbakan or usapan about the nuclear power plant, which is also included included as generating company. So after the electricity produced, electricity is sent to a transformer to increase the voltage to push the current across some businesses. So this is the electricity will transmit to NGCP, the transmission facilities, high voltage power. Then from our facility, we will transmit the power or the electricity to the distribution utilities. Now, the distribution utilities are responsible to distribute power to households and different communities. Okay? Next. So, who is NGCP? NGCP transmit high voltage electricity from power plants to distribution utility. We serve only as the superhighway of electricity. Without NGCP, hindi po makakapunta yung power doon sa distribution utility without passing the facilities being operated by us. Kailangan talaga, we manage the high voltage transmission lines. Then we hold a 25-year concession with the government with a 50-year congressional franchise. Sabi nga sa inyo, we are only concessionaire. We are not owning the facilities. The facilities remain assets of the government. After our 25-year concession, we will return all facilities, including all projects, katulad ng Ormoc-Babatngon 138 kV line, ipapasyo or babalik po niyan sa pamahala ng government. But we can also be renewed for another 25 years, depending on the agreement of NGCP and Republic of the Philippines. Okay? Our mandate is to operate, to maintain and develop country's power grid. We have 3 grids in our country. We have Luzon grid, we have Visayas grid, we have Mindanao grid. Lahat ng grid na yan, minamanage po ni NGCP. We try to operate, we try to maintain, expand, and upgrade all these facilities or this grid to give you a more reliable and safe electricity. Yung ating mga distribution utilities. All of the transmission assets we maintain and those that we will build are assets of the Philippine government. Katulad na sinabi ko kanina. Okay? What is NGCP? We are a partnership of 3 companies. We are owned by Monte Oro Bridges Corporation, High Power Corporation, and the State Grid Corporation of China. According to PIRA, we must be 60% Filipino-owned company and only 40% foreign counterpart. In our case, we have the State Grid Corporation of China na counterpart po ng NGCP. The State Grid Corporation of China owns almost 88% of transmission facilities in China. Kaya very credible po yung kanina pong expertise when it comes to transmission operation. So 60% Filipino-owned and 40% with 40% foreign counterpart. So what are the responsibilities of NGCP? The responsibilities of NGCP, number 1 is power delivery. Ito po yung dinidiscuss natin kanina, from generator connection points to distribution utilities and direct connect customers. We have different types of customers. We have the electric cooperatives and we have the directly connected customers such as yung mga plants, yung mga different plants, yung mga cement plants, ice plants na nakapasa doon sa standard ng ERC and DOE. So our mandate is to connect those customers as long as they pass the standard being set by ERC. So ito yung pinapaliwanag namin kanina na NGCP is responsible to deliver the power from generating plants down to distribution utility. Without us, hindi po makakapasok ang power sa distribution utility. Then we're also responsible for the system operations, that is managing the national power grid, dispatching, generation and managing the system, including ancillary services. Wherein we try to balance yung ating nasa system operations, the responsibility is to balance the load and demand ng electricity. We're also responsible for reliable or quality or voltage quality of the electricity being transmitted to distribution utilities. Yan yung mga trabaho po ng system operations. Then the metering services, a comprehensive metering system at substations and direct customers delivery points wherein we deliver power. So kami din po yung nakakaalam ano po ba yung consumption ng bawat distribution utility. Kasi po naka-bilateral contract sila in different generators, pumapasok sila sa NGCP facilities, and we also measure those consumption. So, the 3 major responsibilities of NGCP, power delivery, systems operations, and metering services. Kung makikita natin, very critical po yung responsibility po ng National Grid sa countryside development. Okay? So we are, as operations and maintenance service provider, we are managing 20,073 circuit kilometers transmission lines all over the Philippines, from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and a substation capacities of more than 32,776 megavoltage ampere. Yan po yung pinapakalagaan namin na kailangan laging meron, kailangan lagi po siya available to make this power delivery continuous power delivery service and reliable service to all consumers. As a system operator, grid security and reliability ng ating grid, kami po rin po yung nasa dispatching, scheduling, and warning. Kaya minsan, kapag po nakakaroon ng power interruption, tinatawagan sa NGCP. Kasi nga po, kami po yung nag-dispatch. Minsan kapag kulang yung ating capacity o yung ating generated power, tayo po yung nag-schedule ng dispatching. Kaya nakakaroon ng mga power interruptions in different areas, minsan nag-schedule tayo para po mabalance natin yung load and demand. Okay, yung power quality, ano rin po yan? One of NGCP's responsibilities as system operator, yung kalidad ng power. So we will now proceed to, those are the basic role of NGCP. The metering services, system operations, and power delivery. Those are three major roles of NGCP in energy industry. NGCP is a fully privatized corporation headed by no other than Mr. Henry C. Jr. Siya po yung aming President and CEO at present. And we are a consortium of three big companies na piniliwanag ko kanina. So sometimes there are power interruptions being caused by these electrocution incidents or incidents wherein nasangkot po yung mga communities or yung mga constituents natin. That's why we're also calling the attention of all the municipal information officers that we're requesting their help and support to inform also the consumers, inform also the constituents, to give these special reminders to our constituents so that una-una yung lives nila as constituent, and second nga, if there is an electrocution in the community, there's also power outage inside sa site po ng NGCP. So we will start our open forum. Our panelists, Mr. Fardo is here. We also have Mr. Avestus, our security officer for the region. Mr. Lope Cañete, our district manager for operations and maintenance District 1. Mr. Pagya, our Visayas project head, or Visayas project division head. And also our spokesperson for NGCP, Attorney Cynthia P. Alabanza. So kung sino po yung gusto mag-start ng question, Ms. Edna is there to give you the wireless microphone para maging continuous lang yung ating open forum. Hey Edna po. Okay, sige po. Mag-start na po tayo.
Good morning to our NGCP officials. I am Romero Rotur of Action Radio Tacloban, and I've been listening actually on the presentation a while ago regarding the second line for the 138 kV Ormoc-Babatngon, which actually supplies the power to Samar Island, where we came from. First, sir, I would like to direct my question to Sir Pagya, sir. How will this second line will work and benefit and assure the Samarnon people that there will be lesser power interruptions? That is the first question. And second is, how resilient it is? Especially on super typhoons. Kasi pagkakaintindi namin kahapon, na-research na kasi namin dahil tinatanong na namin kahapon kung bakit kailangan ng pangalawang linya, yun ang unang tanong namin. Then, yung project kasi is na-conceive before Haiyan. So was there any changes in the design that it will somehow stood another super typhoon like Yolanda, and somehow that will give an assurance to the people of Samar Island and somehow elated that power interruptions will be lesser even during disasters?
I'll answer your concern about the its resiliency to typhoon because this project was conceived before the typhoon Yolanda. Well, I think if you're going to talk about its capability to withstand same typhoon as Yolanda, I think it will. Although it may not be as because the new design is 270 kilometers per hour for the upgrading of Ormoc-Babatngon and Isabel. But it's not. Although I'm not saying that if I mean, marami kasing factor din naman, yung typhoon Yolanda is I think its recurrence is 50 years, and we're not expecting it to happen in the near future.
Your question po is, hello? Okay, your question po is if the tower designs will withstand a super typhoon, no? Even if it was designed prior to Yolanda. Actually po, yung Yolanda is in yung signal number 4 category, which was something we've heard of 5. It's super typhoon. Super typhoon. No? Prior to the last 10 years, 10-15 years, yung the ones that we grew up with, hanggang signal number 3 lang. So most of the NACO4 facilities were designed for signal number 3 and below, which is a maximum wind rating of 180 kilometers per hour. So even prior to Yolanda, when we designed this project, we had already adjusted our design. Inakyat from 180 to 270, yun sinasabi ni Sir Bong, no? Inakyat yan sa 270 kilometers per hour wind rating. But what Mr. Pagya is trying to say that he cannot kasi guarantee that our transmission lines will be safe because there are many factors that affect a typhoon. Over the last several years, ang dami, nag-change kasi yung profile ng mga typhoons na pumapasok sa Philippine Area of responsibility. And we've also seen more damage that are caused by flooding rather than actual wind. Yung amount of rainfall, even Pag-asa, I know you are also aware, has adjusted its warning system. When we were growing up, when we were younger, all of us, the warning system was only signal number 1, 2, 3. But in the last couple of years or so, they have introduced flood warning, red warning, yellow warning for rainfall. Because, and this is a personal opinion, this is not NGCP's official stand, no? Because I really think the Philippines being in the typhoon belt, we are feeling the brunt of climate change because of how we've seen it. In the big, nung primero in the 90s, I think my colleagues will attest to this, ang tinatamaan ng typhoon would be Bicol, yung north sa Luzon side, eastern seaboard. But over the past several years, we've seen it go south. We've had typhoons more often than not passing through Visayas and even Mindanao. Several devastating typhoons apart from Yolanda. There was, I think, Pablo that devastated Soc-Sargent. So nag-iiba ho yung profile, no? At any rate, NGCP naman ho, constant yung pag-adjust namin. So even prior to Yolanda, we had designed our towers for a higher wind rating because dati nga hanggang signal number 3 lang yung design ng NACOCOR. So nag-a-adjust po kami, pero continuous po yung adjustment namin. But again, I suppose Mr. Padilla also, and I share his concern na we cannot guarantee na walang madadamage, but what we can guarantee is that if there is damage, that we will be ready to restore as soon as possible. It's impossible kasi to say na walang masisira, na hindi madadamage, na hindi kayo ma-affect. Because that is a fact na unpredictable ang weather. So I hope I answered your question.
But how about its use, madam? Bakit kailangan dalawangin siya? Ano yung advantage niya?
Well, I'll pass on.
Yung tanong mo, bakit dalawa na?
Bakit kailangan dalawangin? Ano yung magiging advantage niya para dun sa service areas na pagdadalhan ng kuryente?
For example, sa nangyari ni Yolanda, isa lang yung line namin na connect from Ormoc to Babatngon. So during that time, nung natapon yung mga towers, talagang na-out kayo lahat. So it took several days before balik yung power. Pag typhoon Ruby, yung temporary structure doon sa nasirang Yolanda, natapon naman yung isa. So that's why the Tacloban City and Samar may run out na 7 days. Kapag mayroon yung isa, yung existing, yung project sana, kung nasira yung isa hindi, so tuloy-tuloy siya na yung proyekte. So not necessarily na nasira yung isa, masira din yung isa. So yun ang reason doon sa N-1. Kapag masira yung isa, tapos meron pang isa, so tuloy-tuloy yung proyekte. Adding to the question previously, ngayon yung design, nangyari ngayon, dalawa yung linya. Dalawang circuit, no, yung isa, yung existing, at saka may separate line na yung bagong project, yung separate line. Ang advantage nito, compared sa iba, kung makita nyo yung linya Babatngon to Paranas, isang tower lang, tapos dalawang linya. So, ang advantage dito sa Ormoc-Babatngon na separate linya talaga, kapag itong nasira, yung tower na tapon dito sa isa, yung isa hindi, so mayroon tuloy na critique. At except doon sa Babatngon Paranas, kung yung tower na tapon, so talagang dalawang circuit na lahat, so walang critique. So itong advantage sa isa na ginawa ng NGCP, kaya nasabi natin yung bagong project ngayon, maka-sustain o maka-ano sa bagyo kung hindi tayo talaga mano yung power dito sa Tacloban at sa customer side.
In short, sir, follow-up lang. Ang purpose talaga natin dun sa N-2 is back-up. N-1 pala.
Yes. Yes.
Is this a back-up?
Yes.
So habang gumagana yung isang transmission line, pwedeng idle itong isa.
Yes.
At gagamitin lang, halimbawa may maintenance shutdown tayo dito sa isa, pwedeng dumaloy dito sa isa.
Normally sir, dalawa yung i-operate.
Dalawa talaga.
Yes.
Okay.
Ang ibig sabihin ho kasi ng N-1, it's kung may mag-suffer ho na isang component ng sistema, hindi niyo ho mararamdaman. Kasi ho, kayang saluhin ng kabilang, ng other working facilities, yung kung ano man yung function niya na hindi niya magampanan for whatever reason. So you're right. It is a way, it's a redundancy, it's an alternative. So normally, yung sinasabi ni Sir, we would like to operate our facilities at siguro around 50%. So pag namatay yung isang 50 or even less, no? I've seen daw sa grid minsan 30%. So pag namatay mo yung facility na yun, lipat yung kinakarga ng kuryente sa kabila, hindi niyo mo mararamdaman. Yun po yung actual, yung masakit sa trabaho namin. When we do our job well, you're not supposed to know about it. So on a daily basis, pag wala hong interruption yung service sa inyo, we are doing our job well. So that's what we do. Yung ganong klase pong continuous service.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Jennifer Sumagan Aligaga from EYOG Reading Environmental Value. This is with regards, sir, hindi na-mention kanina, yung cost po ng project. Kasi baka po the moment na mag-operate na yung project na to, baka yung mga consumers natin biglang tumaas din po yung singil sa kuryente. This will be passed din po ba sa mga consumers? yung bali yung nagastos ng NGCP.
Maybe Attorney Labanza would
Sorry,
like to answer the
Can you
question.
repeat the question? I'm so sorry po.
Ano po, yung total cost po ng project, yung line 2. At saka, para kung may idea na para din po ba ngayon pa lang, habang hindi pa po nag-operate yung project, may idea na po yung mga consumers natin na there is a possibility that time will come, may papasok po sa mga bills ng kuryente. Para ngayon pa lang, maaga alam na nila na once nag-operate yung project, possible mag-pass on po dun sa cost.
Magkano may
Okay, mahabang explanation, so please bear with me. The structure of how NGCP builds is different from the ordinary way a business will conduct its pricing scheme. Sa ordinary business ko kasi, for example, my favorite example is the water bottle or the Coke Zero in front of me. So water bottle. If you are a sari-sari store owner, you would buy this, let's say, for 20 pesos. And then you have some formula or other to compute how much your overhead is, your electricity, your water, the cost. If you have a stall in the marketplace, then there's a rent. So you will say that maybe it's around 2 pesos per water bottle yung sa overhead. And then you will decide, you unilaterally will decide on a markup. Okay, so let's say you want to earn 7 pesos. So you sell this water bottle for 30 pesos. 20 pesos yung cost ng water bottle. 3 pesos yung overheads or yung operational cost. And then 7 pesos markup. Then you have your selling price. Diba? For NGCP, it's not like that. NGCP will not be allowed to determine its markup. So what the regulator will do is that we are asked every 5 years, which is called a regulatory period, to roll out our capital expenditure plan. So we're gonna say, for example, this is the 2011 to 2016 for third regulatory period. Okay. So let's say in 2010, we went to the ERC, and then we showed them our plans for all the projects we plan to undertake. And magkano yung magagastos namin now. We foresee we will spend. And we also presented to the ERC all the overheads that we thought, that we foresaw we will spend, including salary ng mga employees, other operational matters. So ang ginawa namin, if you go by the water bottle theory, we went to the ERC and we presented to them what we foresaw we will be buying over the next 5 years. So lahat ng mga plan ng mga projects that we plan to build over the next 5 years, we presented to the ERC and the cost, as well as the overheads, electricity, other stuff that we felt that we were going to spend over the next 5 years. So that becomes your base, your foundation for the pricing. The way the 23 pesos was the foundation for the pricing of this. And that is what the ERC will allow us to recover through our rates. Okay? So in other words, the projects that we are building now that were rolled out in 2010 as part of the third regulatory period, it's already tucked into your rates. Okay, so there will be no increase kasi naisama na po. Now, you're asking me, 23 pesos na nung kinolekta nyo, sino maniniwala na hindi kayo kikita? Diba? Because what kind of business is that we're not gonna turn a profit? No one will go into that. Yung 7 pesos, that will be determined by several factors, a grading system. The one that I'm most familiar with because it's the easiest to understand is one factor is called the frequency of tripping. So what ERC says is that for every 100 kilometers of line, dapat magti-trip yan less than so many number of times. Let's say 3 times over a period, let's say a year. So for every 100 kilometers of lines that you run, the tripping should be less than 3 in a year. If we make the 3 or less, we get an incentive. We get an incentive by way of a charge for the next year. But if we make, let's say, 4 or more trippings, no? Bad service, because nararamdaman nyo na nagtitrip yung linya, nawawala ng serbisyo, we get a penalty, bawas dun sa kinokolekta. Okay? So, for me, in this way, it's fair because we don't turn a profit unless we give you good service. Parang nangyayari, tip siya. Hindi siya kasama dun sa bill. Pero pag nasabi ng ERC, o maganda service nyo, based on a set standard, set number of standards, we are given a tip, which is additional income. Okay. So yung, going back to your question, no, will there be in the future an increase? It's already tucked into the current rating scheme by the ERC for the third regulatory period. Ma'am, yung total cost po ng line, ano ba yung ERC? Kasi, let me just clarify, sir, ha? Even if NGCP goes and says, we're gonna spend 1 billion on this project, it's not that easy. ERC will open it up to a public hearing. ERC will study it and will say, no, you can't spend 1 billion. You only spend 500 million. So we cannot decide what we charge. It's the ERC who has the final say. Sometimes what NGCP does is that we actually advance the payment. No? Sasabihin ni ERC, you can only build a 230 kV line. But NGCP says, oh no, we foresee that in 6 years, beyond the 5-year period, we will need a 500 kV line. Mas kinaba natin yung servisan. So, magtatayo kami ng mas malaking linya, pero we're only allowed to collect for the smaller cost. Okay? Tapos, it is only when the grid needs the bigger line that we're allowed to recover the cost, the full cost for that. So, hindi kami kasi nagde-decision on how much we can charge. It's really the ERC. Ang madalas ko sabihin sa mga forum like this is that we can't even sneeze without the permission of ERC. Everything we charge, everything we build, the kind of facilities we build has to go through the ERC for approval and scrutiny, not just by ERC but also by the public kasi it's a public hearing.
Yung project ko, yung
Sige, we're finding it, ma'am. At any rate, yung cost naman yan is in an ERC order that is available publicly where we're trying to find it. Hanapin mo namin and we'll get back to you.
Follow-up lang po.
Yes, po.
Yung sinasabi nyo na 5 years plan na sinasubmit sa ERC for approval na mga project or activity. Paano yun? Kahit hindi pa siya na-implement, pag in-approve ng ERC, binabayaran na kagad ng mga consumer?
It's part of the rate scheme po.
Para mas maintindihan po namin.
I understand what you're trying to get. If you're going to pay for something that is never built, it will not happen po. Because at the end of the 5-year period, if NGCP does not build what it promised to build, there will be an adjustment for the next 5 years. So, this is the scheme po. Hindi po inimbento ng NGCP itong scheme na to. This is a scheme that was in place already, even before NGCP took over. Nung panahon pa po ng transpo, yan na po yung sistema na in place. This is the same system that is implemented on the distribution utilities, on the cooperatives.
with this specific project, kailan po nag-take effect or nag-talk effect yung
The way I understand it, sir,
At saka, gusto namin malaman yung paano yun? Magkano yung amount per kilowatt hour ba yung charging noon?
Okay, ganito po.
It's distributed
The way I understand it po, hindi po na, meron po kaming sinabit sa ERC na costing for the 5-year period po. But it's impossible, sa dami po ng mga proyekto, it's impossible to pinpoint in what year, in how many centavos per whatever ang na-charge for this particular project. Kasi nung pinresent po namin, buo yan for the development plan of Visayas. Ngayon po, what is the charging? We do not charge consumers directly. You do not, as a power user, you do not receive a bill from NGCP. Wala ho kayong natatanggap. That's correct. Because we bill your distribution utility, which is LEECO 2. So ang billing ho namin sa LEECO 2 is in kilowatt months. Different. And then LEECO 2 will take that as part of their charges, yung mga overheads nila, so to speak, and they will translate that into what consumers understand as per kilowatt hour. So, hindi mo namin mapinpoint kung how much per kilowatt hour you're paying for this and when you paid for it. But what you have been paying over the last 5 years was the development plan of the Visayas grid. And it is the same rate, again, more on rates po, no? For NGCP, it's one rate per grid. So if you are a Visayas grid user, NGCP is charging you the LEECO the same rate as it charges Sedeco, as it charges Cogeco, LEECO 123, lahat po. So same rate. But we've noticed po when we go around that sometimes the transmission rate that is passed on to the consumer differs from, for the same billing period, differs from co-op to co-op. Now that is something po we cannot answer kasi sila po yung nagta-translate ng kilowatt month to kilowatt hour. Our rates are published by the ERC and ang design po niyan by the ERC is that it's going down. So the rates that we implemented in 2011 are much higher than it is now. Within the year, sometimes it will fluctuate, but year on year, pababa po siya. So I hope, sir, I answered your question.
Yan lang yung naibigay.
To be honest, sir, for me, I've been doing this for the last 5 years or so. My understanding of how the rate scheme is implemented is very transient. It's so technical and it's so broad and it's so deep. They've explained it to me 4 or 5 times, but I cannot consider myself an expert kasi ho, napakadaming building blocks. But what I gave you, the explanations I've been giving you are the most basic po, no? Laymanized na ho yan, but really it's not as simple as that when you see the formulas. Up to now, if you show me a formula, I cannot really explain it. It's very, very technical.
Thank you. And I'm Mr. Matia, publisher of Tacloban City. My question is about the safety of our towers. In the intensified drive of the government against drugs, have there been instances na yung mga drug addicts sasaka na lang will climb the tower to para hindi instead of mag-rehab, ano lang sila magkuryente. Are there instances na kasi kanina mayroon na kukuryente.
So far, sir, about 9 years in this transmission lines, we have not experienced any drug crazed individual who climbed this one of our towers. Siguro kasi,
Dapat kasama dyan yung mga drug addict pa.
Wala pa naman, sir.
Sige, sir.
actually sir, we are working side by side with the military and the police in explaining to, likewise also the barangay captains kasi minsan pinupuntahan natin yung mga critical areas natin. Explain din namin na talagang high voltage ito kaya may mga markings tayo dyan. And fortunately, wala namang incident pa na on record kami na drug crazed individual na umakyat dyan. Siguro matutuwa si General Bato dyan pag
So that is my advice na huwag na ito rehab. Kung hindi siya makuryente, pwede na siya i-rehab.
Next question.
Yeah. Good morning. I'm Vegas Pai of SummerNews.com from Tacloban City. Yung question ko dito regarding sa discussions ni Sir Dong on the road right of way, isang problema natin. And in your data, you said we are almost 97% complete in this 138 kV line. So the remaining 7%, one of the problem, the factor that contributes to the 7% deficit is on the road right of way. So out of the 7%, how many percent problem of road right of way? What I mean, any other factor aside from road right of way that contributes to the 7%, yung kulang natin to 100% para completely na natin?
For projects.
Para makomplito yung project kasi we still have 7% for completion. Tanong ko lang dito, if this 7% all belongs to the problem of road right of way?
It does, sir.
It does 100%.
Yes.
Wow. So, may we know of those municipalities and
Areas.
where areas?
We have records, but we cannot
Divulge.
Have it right now.
Yeah, we don't have it right now.
Even just in percentage, who has the highest percent among the municipalities? Is it Tacloban? Is it Cananga? Is it San? Yep.
Yun ba yung 7%?
Kahit percentage lang.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your interest po kasi talaga I was surprised.
We might be able to help the media.
Yes, certainly po. That's why we are conducting this. No? Because I'll be honest, sir, with you, no? Only recently I found out that yung timeline, halos half po niyan is devoted to right-of-way. At least half or sometimes more than half. And a great chunk of the delays will really be completely right-of-way. Ang sinasabi sa amin ng mga taga-engineering ho namin, madali lang magtayo ng torrent ng linya, pero yung right-of-way negotiations, yun po ang mahirap. So thank you, sir, for your interest because we really do need your help. In this case, negotiations are underway naman po. Kaya forgive us for not revealing the name of the largest landowner ng sabi trouble. Kasi ho, baka maunsyami pa ho yung negotiations when lumabas sa media. But we are almost there. There was negotiations and later on siguro in private, Betty or Edna can reveal to you kung ano ho yung record, kung alin ho yung nahihirapan kaming landowner. But this is not a problem in just in Leyte or in Samar. There's a problem we have all over the country. Sometimes, not just in engineering also. Minsan nakatayo na ho yung towers, we still have a problem with right-of-way. For engineering projects, we can incur delays as much as years. Kaya ko yung tinatanong nyo kanina, no? Yun ang masakit sa amin kasi we're doing our best to finish the project. Why? Because we're already inaambagan na ho natin as producers. But the delays that we cannot foresee, those are the ones po na right of way. That's why we're asking for the help of media to facilitate ho, to let other people know that they're not helping the country by holding out for whatever reason. And the LGU representatives po dito, yung madadaanan ho ng proyekto namin to help us in identifying landowners, in facilitating negotiation kung kilala ko ng mga barangay captains nyo or ng mayor, and also to facilitate the documentation. Minsan humatagal kasi yung pag-document sa rehistro. So those are the things that we are asking support from. That's the support that we're asking from you. Really to facilitate the completion of the projects. Another thing that I know we've got a presentation on the safety, but thankfully not in the Summer Leyte area, but in Mindanao is my favorite example. Tapos na ho yung linya, nakatayo na ginagamit na, pero sinisira ho. It's either bombing, in the worst case, sometimes sabotage, magtatayo ng bamboo pole, just really to make sure it gets destroyed or ma-interrupt ng power. And then when the power is interrupted, they won't let us go in for maintenance and repair until we pay an amount, usually exorbitant. How exorbitant ang tanong nyo? Without getting into the names, kasi nalilimutan ko, natatandaan ko lang yung mga numbers. There was one ho ang aming assessment, I think was 30 million ang cost for yung land na occupy ng tower. Ang hinihingi ho niya is 333 million. And NGCP ho, no? That's the cost of right-of-way. Whatever we pay out will be passed on to the consumer because it's part of the cost, not part of the profit, the cost. So we don't just go around paying everyone whatever they feel like, asking for. We have to be prudent in what we spend. So, I remember going into the elections, it was such a big problem because we were afraid that we were slowly losing the lines that were critical in Mindanao. So, in this area, wala naman tayong ganong klaseng problema. But the awareness should be built because a lot of people see an NGCP tower, ang nagpapatakbo na yan si Henry C. Jr., mayaman yan, pwede tayong kumuha ng mas malaking settlement. But that's not the case. We are private, yes, but we run a public utility that's highly regulated. And that we cannot just go out and give in to the whimsical demands of every other landowner. So, pag nakikita niyo ho yan sa dyaryo, minsan pinapadyaryo ho namin, kaya po talagang kailangan ho namin ng tulong ng mga kapatid natin sa media. It is because we want to raise the awareness that these people are only thinking of themselves and hindi nila nakikita na NGCP, while private, we are driving economy builders. No? Power is what you need to build the economy. If you have no power, your economy will not flourish. So we are, tulungan mo tayo, help us help you. So with the awareness and with the sense of stewardship, with the sense of patriotism that we should feel towards transmission lines. Kasi po, another thing, we run the facilities but we don't own them. It's still public property. The lines, the towers are owned by government. We just manage. At the end of our concession period or the end of our franchise, we give this back to government. So tayo ho, as part of the public, as taxpayers, we own the facility. So it's in our interest to make sure they're safeguarded.
Yeah. Good morning, Ma'am. Henry Karigan from UVMA. I'm about to ask that question kung anong most common reason why hindi nakikipag-cooperate yung mga landowners. So aside from that, Ma'am, yung nagpapapresyo, ano po yung reason nang nagkakaproblema tayo sa right of way?
Mostly ho, talagang nagpapapresyo lang. Yes, sir. NGCP under its franchise was granted the right of eminent domain. Yan po yung one of the three major powers of the government under the Constitution. It's the right to expropriate. What does that mean po? Ibig sabihin, we can take private property for public use, but of course, after payment of what they call just compensation. So, tama po yun, no? But NGCP, ayaw naman ho namin galitin ng mga landowners na basta-basta ho kami papasok, wala man ng usap-usapan, and then we just file a case in court for expropriation. So for every project that we have, even for those that are built na and may problem ng konti sa right of way, the first step is always negotiation. Kasi the right to expropriate is a very potent weapon. No? Theoretically, the courts should not anymore question the wisdom of the project, whether it is for public use and it will be good for the country. That's already assumed in an expropriation case. Ang pinag-uusapan na lang sa expropriation case is price, nothing else. But before we get to that point, we try to negotiate with the landowner so that we can all avoid a lengthy trial. Kasi in favor rin of NGCP yan sa totoo lang because we don't have to agree on a price as long as we make a deposit equivalent to 10% of the declared price. The court should issue us what they call a writ of possession, which means while we're still discussing the topic of just compensation, we can take possession. But we don't want to aggravate again the landowners because the towers will be there and it will be a long relationship between NGCP or grid operator and the landowner. So as much as possible, ayaw ho namin na maging hostile yung relationship.
Good morning, Ma'am. I'm Irene Palesteros. I'm writing for the Freeman, NGCP News, and I'm columnist of the Solomon Daily Express. Actually, my question is somewhat related to the expropriation. We know because there's a need for just compensation. So, is it NGCP that's paying, or is it coming from another agency of the government? Definitely it's NGCP.
Sorry, Mama. Very complicated po ang mga tanong. Yung for projects, NGCP provides the funds, but it's out of the charges. It's part of the project cost. So we are also very prudent in how much we pay the landowners because in the end, it is the consumers who are actually paying. So you would want your agent as consumer, gusto nyo, the one negotiating on your behalf to pay your money, dapat prudent po. So yes, for projects, kami, for new projects, but for existing facilities, those that were in existence before we took over in 2009. Hello? Hello? Okay, before we took over in 2009, government po ang magbabayad. So, kung yung mga towers, may claimants over towers or facilities that were in existence, or in existence prior to 2009, it will come from the national government under the budget of transport. Pero yung new projects, kami ho yun.
Yeah. I have another question, Ma'am. This relates to the, after the Yolanda, solar farms are booming here in Eastern Visayas, and I also know that there are in other places in the country there are also solar farms. So how is this helping provide efficient service, provision of electricity to the countryside?
Okay, hello. Ayaw sa akin, lalakasan ko na lang ang boses ko. There you go. NGCP po kasi, we welcome all kinds of supply. Whether it's oil, coal, nat gas, geothermal, solar, wind, whatever po. Nuclear, wala ho kaming dinidistinguish. The mandate of NGCP as grid provider is that we connect when there's supply and we connect when there are users. The only thing we really ask for is the opportunity to study the project so that we can make adjustments to the grid to accommodate whether it's a user or a supplier. My favorite analogy po dyan is like your house. Hindi ho kayo basta-basta pwedeng magkabit ng aircon or ng ref sa kahit anong outlet. Diba? The big appliances, you can't just put it in any outlet because baka ho pumutok. So similarly, NGCP has to study the effect of an addition to the grid by studying it kung kailangan ba ho namin magdagdag ng linya, kailangan ba ho namin magdagdag ng transformer, and once we study that and the Department of Energy gives a go signal to the project, we will synchronize po the transmission projects that are needed to accommodate the new supply, whether it be wind or coal, and para ho sabay-sabay matatapos yung proyekto. So, now your question, how will it help? Energy po, for now, is a unique commodity that you cannot store. Unlike rice, that during the time of harvest, you can store it. No? There are technologies that will say they're batteries, but none big enough that will store the amounts of energy needed for consumption ng tao. So why do I bring that up? Real-time ho ang paggawa ng kuryente at paggamit. That's what we do. We balance it with the system operations. So it is ideal when your supply is always ahead of your demand forecast. That's why every year ho, the Department of Energy under its Power Development Plan will have a forecast of how much the consumption will increase. It's a 10-year plan, no? So they see the increase, so they know whether to encourage more investors to come in para parating ahead, mas maraming supply kesa sa demand. Case in point, I know the Visayas grid was always on what they call red alert until I think maybe 2010, 2011, when the new power plants came in. Then nag-stabilize. But prior to that, parating kulang. And I was surprised, well, I wasn't surprised. I found out that every other commercial establishment had its own genset kasi kulang supply. Similarly, Mindanao also, in 2010, beginning 2010, nag-red alert po sila. Meaning they were in a state of deficiency. Kulang na yung kuryenteng nasa loob ng sistema to meet the growing demands. But happily, in 2016, there are power plants that are coming in, so magsa-stabilize na ang Mindanao. Why do I bring this up? Kasi I just want to underscore the importance of forward planning. Okay? When you have a power plant, especially the conventional ones, there's a gestation period of 3 to 5 years. Why gestation? Because you're an investor, then you have to, I don't know, have how many signatures that need to be permits from the government, etc., before you can have a plant that's operational. So you can plan for next year today. Next year's requirements should have been planned 5 years ago at least. Pag naunahan ho kayo ng supply, as has happened, pag naunahan ho kayo ng demand, as has happened in Visayas and in Mindanao, yun ho ang bagsak, brownout, or power interruptions. So, NGCP on its part, we have a component in the Department of Energy's Power Development Plan called the Transmission Development Plan, where we will lay out to the Department of Energy all the programs and projects we have already planned up to 10 years to show that kung ano man hong mga power plant na gustong pumasok at ano man ho yung mga power distribution utilities na mag-expand yung kanilang demand, factored in na ho dun sa plano. Kasi ho, hindi ho pwedeng ngayon lang ho, ay, next year ba ganito na kayo karami ang kukunin? Ngayon lang ho kami magpaplano na. Hindi ho pwede. It's a 10-year plan, updated annually. So, the answer to your question is, the more power, the better. But it must be coordinated with the grid. Kailangan ho, i-coordinate sa amin, kasi kung hindi ho ma-coordinate sa amin, posible kung maging source ng problem. The way if you put your refrigerator in an outlet that's not designed for an appliance as big as a refrigerator, it's possible that your circuit breaker will go, or your wires will burn out. Of course, NGCP won't let it get to that, but ang mangyayari naman ho kung hindi coordinated, baka ho hindi makalabas ang kuryente.
Good morning. Gusto ko kayo ng kapatid ng Pilipino. Ang tanong ko po dito, itong another structure ba, yung line, hindi po ba ito mag-increase ng systems loss na palagi ng sinusubsidize ng mga tao. At ano bang systems loss dito ngayon na walang bayad? At saka ano magiging resulta ng systems loss pagkatapos? Kasi ang systems loss na yan, palaging binabayaran pa sa consumer.
Hello. Okay, ayaw talaga sa akin ng mic. Ang systems loss, so again, bear with me, so that we will all understand the nature of systems loss. Ang systems loss so dalawang klase. Yung technical, which is a function of science, and yung man-made o yung pilferage o pagnanakaw. Okay ho. Sa NGCP, walang pilferage. Bakit ho? Kasi ang kuryenteng dumadaloy sa mga linya po namin, high voltage. Just to tell you how gano'ng kataas yung voltahe ng kuryente ng NGCP, ano talaga ako pagsalitain? 220 po yung lumalabas dun sa outlet. Ang minimum ho na kinakarga ng NGCP is 69,000. 220 versus 69,000. So kung gusto kong mag-pilfer o maglagay ng jumper sa NGCP ho, garantisado ho, hindi makakarating ng maayos ho yung kuryente. Baka ho yung sumubok pa, hindi na rin ho makarating sa kanyang paroroonan. So that's the pilferage. So there is no pilferage on NGCP side. The pilferage happens on the distribution side, cooperative, where it's easier to bypass the meter. Okay. Yung technical systems loss, yan ho, hindi ho talaga may iwasan. Pag dumadaloy ho ang kuryente sa kable, meron ho talagang nawawala, nauubos, kinukonsumo ng line. But NGCP has equipment that we install, the capacitors, yung mga ganyan, sir, diba? That will minimize systems loss. Nevertheless, we do not charge systems loss. NGCP does not charge systems loss. It's from the cooperatives po. Actually, to be honest, medyo masama ho ang loob ko kasi napapansin ko sa mga billings ng iba't ibang cooperative. Systems loss is directly underneath transmission cost, and it looks like it's ours, but it is not. If you notice po, pareho siyang na margin, which means magkatapat ho siya, hindi siya naka-indent, hindi ho kami ang gumagamit. Hindi ho kami ang sumisingin ng systems loss. But I do understand, but it's better po kung tanungin niyo ho yung kooperatiba nyo na merong cap ang ERC for the percentage of systems loss that it is allowed to pass on. Hindi naman ho ata buong buo na naipapasa sa konsumante yung systems loss. But that is something po that I suggest we confirm with the cooperative.
Clarification lang, kasi sa previous press conferences conducted by NGCP, nagsabi po ang NGCP noon na sa Visayas, mayroon 3 point something systems loss in the Visayas grid and 2 point something in Luzon grid. At saka from the galing sa power plant to cooperative, yung systems loss na yan, kinakarga ng cooperative. For example, mayroong 50 megawatts na i-release ng power plant. Pagdating doon sa cooperative, minus 3% dito sa amin, at ang loss na yan, something like mga 1.5 megawatts, kami na magkakarga.
Okay, tama po yun, no? When I explain, let me go back to the nature of NGCP as a transmission highway. So yung highway po, like a regular road highway, we pay a toll. Okay. So kunyari po, you have a power plant or a farmer na nagbebenta ho ng bigas. Kunyari ho, no? Nung winayin niya yung sako niya ng bigas, 50 kilos ho, kunyari ho, no? At source. Tapos, kinarga niya ho sa sasakyan niya, dumaan sa highway, nagbayad ng toll, dinala niya sa merkado, sa retailer. Nung mineasure ho sa retailer, 49.95 kilos. So, nawalan ho kayo ng 0.05 kilos. Sino ho ang nag-charge nun? At sino ho ang nagbabayad? Ang babayaran ho kasi ni retailer, yung 50 kilos. Yun ho kasi ang arrangement niya between farmer and retailer. So, ang sumisingil ho nun, ang sisingilin ni farmer, 50 kilos pa rin, buong buo. So, ang papasa na presyo ni retailer, 50 kilos buong buo. Although, yung kanyang bigas, bawas na ng 0.05 kilos. Okay? Yung toll ho, yung national highway na sumingil ng toll, hindi ho siya sisingil ng 0.05 kilos. Kasi hindi ho siya nag-buy and sell ng bigas. Dinaanan lang ho siya. So can you see po why I'm saying na although may systems loss, kasi pagdaan niya, siguro matagtag yung sasakyan, medyo may nahulog ng mga butil-butil, pagdating may bawas. But yun ang singil ho nun is between the generator and the cooperative. The road, the transmission highway po does not buy and sell electricity. Therefore, it does not charge systems loss. Does it suffer systems loss? Yes. Yun po yung sinasabi ko na scientific systems loss. That is a function of science. Okay? Pero like the minimitigate ho namin, naglalagay ho kami ng mga equipment para mabawasan yon. Pero dahil hindi ho kami ang nagbabuy and sell ng kuryente, hindi rin ho kami sumisingil ng nawawalang kuryente.
Kung dito sa systems loss, tatagay kayong mga tinasalo sa NGCP. Kung mayroon na ba kayong study na mababawas-bawas na naman ito?
Good morning, good noon to our guests, from the NGCP officials. Actually, yung questions ko kasi na-raise na kanina, but my concern is, ilang porsyento ba maasahan ng mga konsumidor natin ng kuryente na wala ng mga mangyayaring brownouts, but doon sa na-experience natin ngayon, sa NGCP, under NGCP, medyo hindi na masyado yung brownout. With this Ormoc-Babatngon power transmission line, ilang porsyento na lang ba yung hindi na namin ma-experience yung mga power shutdown?
Good morning, ma'am. For example, ma'am, this coming October, ma'am, this coming October, na third week or fourth week of October, there will be a power interruption because we will repairing the temporary structure damaged by Tacloban City somewhere in Ormoc and Cananga. For that example, ma'am, if this line 2 is already available, if we repair that line, there will be no power interruption of that. But since sample lang yung linya natin, so talaga may interruption. To answer your question, kung mayroong percentage, malaking percentage. Kasi pwede na kami kagalaw sa isa na tuloy-tuloy yung kuryente sa inyo. So, I hope I answer your question. For the number of percentage, I cannot give you the right answer.
Bakit daw pag may power interruption, parang isang araw?
Siguro nakita niyo ma'am yung natapon na tore. Then mayroong ginawang bagong tore. Tapos yung dating kawan, yung conductor, nandun sa temporary. So hilahin namin papunta doon sa bagong tore. That activity, ma'am, it takes time.
So meaning it depends sa destruction ay sa
Activity. So for the past months, talagang isang araw dahil doon sa that difficulty of activity.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, follow up, you've mentioned unscheduled interruption of October. What areas will be affected, sir?
Not unscheduled, have to be scheduled. Tacloban City and Samar Island. Likod to franchise area, Samar Island.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Diaz of the Philippine Information Agency in Northern Samar. We would just like to know the status of the transfer of waters from emergency restoration system to the permanent structure. This causes the scheduled power interruptions every Saturday, every other Saturday in northern summer until when will it end? The ERS to the transfer of ERS to permanent structure. Yun yung sinasabing always na cause na tinetext sa amin, tinetext plus namin to all mayors, to our partners, na reason bakit every other Saturday may brownouts sa Northern Samar. So, last year, almost every other Saturday talaga naka-schedule. So, until when yan matatapos? Thank you po.
Balik tayo sa Ormoc-Babatngon ngayon, yung isisingay natin. Mayroong 11 towers na nasira yung lugar. So, kapag may matapos na isang tore, dahil hindi nasabay-sabay yung pagkatapos kasi yung iba, balik na naman tayo sa road problem. Yung sabi ni ma'am na existing na tore, may problema siya na nangyari. So, hindi sabay-sabay natapos. So, kapag may natapos na tore, ano kagad namin, ilipat namin talaga, gamitin na namin yung bago, i-dismantle yung ERS. So, kaya mayroong mayroong February, mayroong March, mayroong April. So, ngayon nakahingat tayo. Balik tayo ngayong October. So, actually, mayroon pa tayong 4 na, out of 11, mayroon pang 4 na 4 towers pa na hindi natapos. We hope, pero tingin namin hindi ito matapos na isang araw. Sabi naman bakit ito 6 to 6. So itong 4, baka 2 shutdown o 3 shutdown. Paano nangyari?
2 to 3 shutdowns within the year.
Hoping, sir. Within December. After December.
Good afternoon to everybody. I'm Marie Ferreira, Municipal Mayor of Babatngon. Dalawa lang po yung concern at saka ituloy ko. Yung NGCP po ba, exempted po ba sila sa real property tax? Well, in Babatngon, sir, we have the Transpo substation there. Umabot na po sa amin yung notice ng province, i-auction na po nila, kasama po doon yung mga Transpo, yung mga lines. So, tatanong ko pa po kung may budget po ba doon or exempted po ba ang NGCP. And second concern ko po, we have a barangay in Babatngon, Barangay Titian. Nadaanan po siya ng transmission line niyo po papunta ng Samar. 10 years ago, more than 10 years, I was a councilor at that time. Nagkameron po nag-usapan between the NGCP. Ang sabi po nila, they will provide for the lot and the DepEd will provide for the school building. So up to now, wala pa po, and delikado po, every time na may kidlat, makikita nyo po talaga na hinihigop yung banana yung sa amin po. Pataas sa line. So, delikado po sa mga school children natin. So, ano po ba yung, it takes how many years pa para magawa ng paraan po yun?
Yung question po sa RTP. Under our franchise po, yung RA 9511, NGCP shall pay a franchise tax on gross revenues in lieu of any and all taxes, assessments, and charges of whatever nature, national or local po. So it is the position of NGCP that it is exempt from real property taxes kasi po supposed to be in lieu of all taxes and fees and charges. Franchise tax na lang po ang babayaran namin sa national government. So kasama po yung local taxes doon.
Kasama po ang business tax?
Yes po, yun ang position ng NGCP. Again ma'am, ayoko po kasing discuss ng legalities because syempre of course we're on the opposite sides of the fence here. But I do know that we are trying to get a definitive ruling from the Supreme Court on this para ho, once and for all, malaman na ho kung talagang kami liable for the local taxes or not. With regard po dun sa mga properties ng NGCP that are supposed, of Transco that are being run by NGCP that are up for auction for payment of real estate taxes. Have we been sent po a notice natin?
Opo, receive na po ng receive niyo po.
Unreceived na ng NGCP, just note please. Sige po, we'll look into that, no? Thank you po for that. Second po, yung tungkol dun sa school building na binanggit nyo, if it was 10 years ago, that was still Transco. Mukhang hindi po na-endorse yung pangakong iyon po sa NGCP because NGCP only began operating in 2009.
So, ano po yung pwede namin gawin?
So, Ms. Edna will get po the details of your office and we will have someone come over from the department that's handling CSR to see what kind of partnership we can do for this particular case. We understand how you're concerned. I'm sorry ma'am, hindi ko nakuha kanina. Is the school building that you were referring to, is it underneath the lines? Or yung concern niyo po na eskwelahan? Nasa, malapit po ba o nasa ilalim?
Nasa ilalim po. Nauna yung school, nadaanan sila.
Okay, because if that's the case, we have to look into it because we don't build on top of structures. Supposed to be, panahon mo pa ng Transco dapat po bago itayo yung linya, wala na hong struktura doon. So it's very likely po, again, it's a chicken or the egg thing, no? Mahirap po talagang ma-determine kung alin ba po talagang nauna. Pero it's unlikely na nag-build ang Transco na meron hong struktura doon. Which is another thing, another kind of support that NGCP is asking the LGUs po, is that kung maaari po, wag na mag-issue ng building permit for anything under the transmission lines. The landowners can still use the land, pero meron hong limitation, no structure or vegetation higher than 3 meters. So, hindi ho talaga dapat magkaroon ng kahit anong structure underneath the transmission line, precisely po because there is that danger. There is that danger. So, sige po, Ms. Edna, let's just coordinate with the Office of the Mayor and settle this, lalo na yung sa school.
Alan Amistoso from Magic FM. Kanina, sinabi ni attorney na hindi sumisingil yung NGCP, correct me if I'm wrong, attorney, na hindi sumisingil yung NGCP sa hindi na i-deliver na power. Am I correct?
Na proyekto po, because we don't buy and sell power.
Okay.
We don't buy and sell power.
Nevertheless, gusto ko lang malaman, meron po kasi akong nakausap na isang board of director ng LECO 2, Tacloban. Hindi ko lang maalala yung exact amount, pero sinasabi po niya na may binayaran pa, may siningil pa yung NGCP sa LECO 2, even there was no actual distribution of power. That was after Yolanda. So gusto lang po namin malaman kung totoo po ba ito, magkano po ba ito, at bakit po siningil niyo pa yung LECO na wala namang power actual service, and then na later on yung power na yun pinas-on po sa amin pong mga consumer na wala rin ng po service ng...
I will have to get the details on that po because it's medyo vague po because I don't know which charge, I don't know for what period. Yolanda happened 3 years ago and there was a long period of time na wala po tayong kuryente. So I will have to look into that po kung ano yung binabanggit ng Taga-Leyeco po. But certainly if it was power, we don't buy and sell power. We only pay for charge toll. So I'll get back to you po on that. No? Hanapin ko po kung anong issue yan.
May number naman ako kay Ma'am Binti.
Yes,
baka pwede pag-usapan po natin sa problem po.
Yes po.
NGCP. My name is Jeff Naibay from Catholic Television. Moving forward from Yolanda, tapos na ako dyan. And looking at the grid that you're building right now, yung may redundancy, it's really good. May question, isa lang po ang tanong ko. Sa ngayon, 3 years after the disaster, the region, not only Tacloban, is looking forward to better its And part of that is the city of Tacloban, the municipality of Tacloban, are now talking about industrial zones. We have a neighboring town, the mayor which is here, sa Babatngon, who's close to that grid. No? They have enough land to build something like an industrial zone. Ang tanong ko po, yung grid ba natin dito sa Lakeland, does it have industrial capacity? Kung wala, gaano katagal mag-build niya? Because I want to see kung mag-connect, because the LGUs are talking about industrial zones, but do we have the power?
Actually, sir, if you're an industry or any large user of electricity, you have two options to connect either through the cooperative or directly through the grid. We have several directly connected customers that are large industries like bottling plants, cement factories, steel factories, etc. The only requirement po is that there are certain technical issues that must be threshed out between the grid and the proposed directly connected customers. But I am told that it is possible through the Babatngon substation. So that can be done. Yun po, choice nila either through LEECO or directly through NGCP. There are some customers or large industries who prefer a direct connection because they feel that the electricity will be more of better quality. Technical issues po, no? But they do have a choice. So if there is any plans in that nature, we can coordinate po with our technical group for the details on how to get the ball rolling in that respect. Pero we do have directly connected customers sa eco zones po. That is being done. That can be done. That's an option.
It's not here. We are good at any industrial.
Meron po.
Wala kami dito niyan. Kaya ang puti na. Wala kami ganun.
Meron, we have directly connected customers in Isabel.
I'm talking about this side of thing.
In Babatngon, we have no direct customer because they are connected
But
to
the capacity is there.
Yes.
Ayun.
Especially the additional line.
Kasi baka hindi mo mag-sync. Di ba?
Kailangan lang mong pag-usapan,
Pag-usapan
but
na
there
lang.
is a Babatngon substation in your area ma'am. That can be tapped into. May kailangan lang pag-usapan yung technical details, but it can happen.
Maraming salamat.
Okay, so for those who have pending questions, you can just email or approach our panelists when they're eating. So thank you everyone for coming. We appreciate your time and effort in this event, and we look forward to coordinating with you closely so that the purpose for which this event is called for will be achieved, or for the common good of the public that we are intended to serve.